Cambridge defines censorship as the prevention of part or whole of a book, media product, or work of art. If we look at the definition of censorship, they also say that it's prevention due to issues with it being harmful. In terms of LGBTQ representation in China, this is one of the main things that they deem to be harmful to their society. And when we're talking about China, Russia, and other countries, they're looking to protect their traditional values because they deem homosexuality in the same bracket as incest, bestiality, and underage sex. It's such a taboo topic in these countries to the point where they don't want any representation in any of the media. In China, when they're trying to source information on LGBTQ issues, it's very underrepresented in the media, which leads these people to have to go to like third-party dating sites to source information on AIDS and get informed on aspects which are part of their life which they can't have seen in Chinese media because it's deemed to be harmful to the communities. This is also very prominent in Russia, where they have the gay propaganda law, which prevents any sort of media product being produced, which encourages people to, in an essence, be themselves, but it just marginalizes these groups and makes them unwanted, which is why they have such issues with expressionism in the media. But we can see that this is very outdated. For instance, look at the UK and America, who actively show gay relations, lesbian relations in their media, and they're proud of it, but because it doesn't fit with the values in China and Russia, they don't want to show it, and they're not representing these in the media.
The film Lightyear, released in 2022, is an example in which LGBTQ plus censorship had taken place. There was a sequence within the film where two female characters are kissing briefly. There were some countries that found this unacceptable and even banned the movie, such as Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. In most Muslim majority countries, these films were banned as homosexuality was punishable by prison time or even sometimes death. The scene between the two women characters were initially cut from the film. However, complaints from the Disney employees had been made about the lack of response the company had made towards the Don't Say Gay bill that was proposed in Florida. The arguments that are made for this bill support the parents' point of view, as it helps them decide when and how LGBTQ plus topics can be introduced to their children. In Malaysia, a different story arises as they refused to show the kissing scene between the two women and instead requested to have the scene cut from the film altogether. However, Disney refused this request and instead released the film with an 18+ rating on Disney+. There are countries such as Singapore in which the film had been passed but with an NC-16 rating, which meant that no one under the age of 16 was permitted to watch the film. Although homosexuality between two women have been legalized in Singapore, it is still frowned upon by many within their society. Disney had been hoping to get the film released within the UAE, as their censorship laws had been relaxed. However, the social media outcry which accused the film of offending Islam then led to the film being retracted and therefore preventing it being released within the UAE.
Steven Universe was created in 2014 by Rebecca Sugar and published by Cartoon Network. The show is praised for its LGBTQ representation. This included two characters of Ruby and Sapphire, who are shown to be in an openly lesbian relationship. These two fused together to create one of the main characters, who is also a paternal figure to the protagonist, Garnet. When Garnet is not shown on screen, the show has been censored by multiple countries, including Kenya, Russia, and the UAE. For a strain of 5 episodes in season 5, Steven Universe sets upon the idea of Ruby and Sapphire splitting up completely and not being in a relationship together. These episodes are completely removed from Russia's publication of season 5 and contain vital other story points, including a battle with the main antagonist at the end of this section of the season. However, places like Russia and Kenya are not the only ones to censor this type of content from the show. In 2016, Steven Universe was censored in the UK and compared to the US version of the show, in which a homosexual couple are seen dancing. However, 15 minutes later, in the same episode, a heterosexual couple dances in the exact same manner and is shown completely uncensored. These changes to the UK version caused major backlash on the internet, causing a change.org petition to be made to restore the uncensored versions of the episodes, unfortunately to no avail.
In China, there are laws and directives that have been put in place which make it very difficult for any LGBTQ plus material to be made. This has led to dating apps having to produce their own films and TV shows which show this representation. These dating apps and their films and TV shows aren't seen as a threat in China due to the fact that they simply don't pull in the masses of numbers. So it's not so much an issue in China that people are seeing the content, it's more the exposure of the content to a large group. And this also fits in with the 3 no's, which most importantly is no promotion, which shows that countries like China think that homosexuality is something that can be taught and something that can be sold to someone, and then it can become part of their identity. In Poland, there's a proposed bill that is being sent to Parliament called the Stop LGBT Bill. In this bill, Amnesty have said that it threatens the right for peaceful protesting and is oppressing free speech. If the bill was to be passed, then it would ban any pride parades or any gatherings that would promote anything other than a heterosexual relationship or the ideologies that there are more than just the 2 genders.
Onwards is a film that was released in 2020, and the controversy that surrounds it is due to a same-sex reference that was made in a scene within the film. In the scene, a male police officer is seen conversing with 2 other female officers about parenting. It has been stated by sources that the character of Officer Spectre is in fact Disney's first openly gay character. This film is an example of how strict censorship is within Eastern countries, as it was banned for just making a brief reference of same-sex relationships. In some cases, the film was allowed to be released, such as in Russia. However, they required the film to have been edited. For example, the scene in which the character of Officer Spectre refers to her girlfriend, the term girlfriend was in fact replaced with the term partner instead. And in some cases, the gender of Officer Spectre has been altogether avoided. This shows the great lengths in which the Western media industry tries to reach the Eastern audiences.
Even the hit TV show Friends has been censored. In 2012, China finally bought the rights to show Friends on air, unedited, where it is loved by the Chinese community. It was even noted that children used Friends as a way to learn English colloquialisms and language. Yet in 2019, Friends was taken off air on both streaming sites and mainstream TV for no reason by the Chinese government. A year later, the show reappeared on air with one strange element missing. Carol, one of the side characters of the show, Ross's ex-wife, is an openly lesbian character shown to be in a relationship with another woman. She was removed, and no mention of her or her partner are shown at all in the edited versions of Friends. This has led to massive parts of the episodes in certain seasons being cut. The censorship was even shown in the reunion special released in 2020, where every mention of Carol and any other relationships that had been sprung between the characters in real life were completely removed. Some celebrities who appear on the show to talk about their experience of Friends were removed completely, including Lady Gaga, BTS and others, due to their prior issues with the Chinese Communist Party.